You're dumping 30 gallons a week into a 4x8 bed, and by 3 p.m., the leaves still crisp up. You come back with another soaking the next day, and the soil turns to concrete by August. Daily summer watering wastes water, bakes soil, and trains shallow roots that stall yields. The problem isn't you, it's the system you were taught. Here's the fix. Shade the sun, water the root zone, and let the plant set the schedule. You'll use 3 tools and 1 habit: shade cloth, Ollas, mulch, and refilling when the pots are empty, not when the calendar says so.
First, shade cloth the right way. Keep the bed in full sun all day, but add a simple frame that gives 30 to 40% shade at midday. Not deep shade, just a veil those are the hottest hours. That light filter drops leaf temperatures 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit at noon. Cooler leaves means slower transpiration, fewer panic signals inside the plant, and less water ripped out of your soil. In zones 7 to 10, that small shade cut removes the midday spike that cooks canopies without starving the plant for light.
Why it works. Plants don't measure full sun with a calendar. They feel heat load in their leaves. When leaf temps surge, stomata clamp down to save water. Photosynthesis stalls. The bed still looks bright, but growth hits the brakes. A 30 to 40% cloth takes the edge off. You keep photosynthesis going, you stop the afternoon death spiral, and you stop baking the top inch of soil. Second, Ollas. Unglazed clay pots buried at root depth, filled with water and left to seep. The clay sweats moisture only when the surrounding soil pulls on it. That means roots ask, pot answers. No guessing, no flooding. Compared to hose watering in summer, Ollas cut applied water by 40 to 60%. You're not blasting the surface. You're feeding the zone that matters, steadily.
Set them so the pot's shoulder sits at root depth for your crop. Fill them, cap them, and walk away. As roots explore, they hit the moisture gradient and follow it down. Deep moisture trains deep roots. Deep roots don't panic at 2 p.m. Third, mulch, a blanket 3 to 4 inches thick across the bed. Wood chips, leaf mold, or a mix. Not pebbles, not bare soil. The mulch stops evaporation by blocking sun and wind at the surface. It cools the rhizosphere, so biology stays on the clock. That's the difference between a bed that needs daily rescue and a bed that coasts.
Why it works? Water leaves your soil 3 ways: runoff, evaporation, and transpiration. Shade and mulch kill the first 2. Ollas tame the third by smoothing demand. Together, they change the shape of the day, so you don't get that noon spike and evening collapse.
Plant spacing with Ollas. Don't crowd the pot. Plant to me high till me 1/8 inches from each Olla. That puts the roots in the moisture cone without choking the pot. 1 2-gallon Olla reliably serves to 2 to 4 plants within 18 inches. Tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, basil, squash, give each plant its slice of the cone, and you'll see even growth instead of one bully hogging the hose. Refill timing. Stop watering by calendar. Refill when the pots are empty, usually every 2 to 5 days, and in heat waves in zones 2 to 7, it's typically 2 to 4. That's demand-driven watering. The hotter and drier it gets, the faster the pot gives, and the sooner you refill. Cooler, cloudier stretch, the pot holds. You match reality, not a reminder app. Let's put the numbers on it. With through 30 to 40% shade cloth, midday leaf temps drop to 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit. Ollas cut your applied water by through 40 to 60% compared to overhead hose watering. A 2-gallon Olla covers 2 to 4 plants at 12 to 18 inches. And a 4x8 bed that used to guzzle about 30 gallons a week can drop to about 15 with shade, Ollas, and mulch. Now, why the system keeps working better the longer you run it. The loop starts at the canopy. Cooler leaves mean less stress. Less stress means steady photosynthesis. Steady photosynthesis means bigger leaves. Bigger leaves throw more shade on the soil, which cools it even more. The canopy becomes its own umbrella. Below ground, deep roots sip steadily from the Olla instead of chugging after a flood. Fewer wilt episodes. Flowers don't abort in the heat. Pollinated blooms actually set. That gives you more fruit and steadier ripening, which keeps the plant balanced. You stop the boom and bust watering cycle that splits tomatoes and drops peppers. In the soil, consistent moisture feeds the organisms that build structure. Fungi and microbes bridge soil particles, make crumbs, and open pores. Structure holds water like a sponge. As that sponge builds, your refill interval stretches. What was every 2 days in June can become every 3 to 4 by late July. Same heat, better soil, slower drawdown. Shade, Ollas, and mulch create a self-reinforcing loop. If you've been watering daily, you've seen the opposite loop. Overhead blasts, hot crust, roots stuck in the top 2 inches, plants gasping by afternoon. Then you water again, leach nutrients, and compaction gets worse. The plant isn't weak, the system is.
A few quick notes for climate edges. Zones 9 and 10 are the sweet spot for running this exactly as described. In cooler zones, you may go longer between refills, and you might not need the shade cloth until true heat waves. Still use the Biden 30 to 40% when the sun bites at midday. In hotter than 10 areas, expect the low end of the refill window more often. Keep the same setup and let the pods tell you when to top up. The logic doesn't change. How to start this week.
Put up a simple frame over your summer bed and apply to 30 to 40% shade cloth so it filters the midday sun. Keep mornings and late afternoons bright. Cloth stays on. The percentage handles that. Install Ollas, unglazed pots, 2-gallon size for general use. Bury them so the shoulders sit at root depth. Space them so each pot can serve from 2 to 4 plants within 18 inches. Fill each Olla to the top and cap it. Don't water the surface. Mulch the whole bed from 3 to 4 inches deep with wood chips or leaf mold. Tuck mulch around, not over the Olla openings. Plant at 12 to 18 inches from the Olla center. If plants are already in, slide an Olla between them at that distance. For 1 week, check each pot daily at the same time. Learn your refill rhythm. When a pot is empty, fill it. Track the days. You'll settle into a 2 to 5 day cycle, often 2 to 4 in hot spells in zones 7 to 10. Resist the hose on the surface. Refill the pots, not the soil. Let the mulch and shade handle the top inch. You'll see the change fast. Midday leaves won't feel like a hot pan. Flowers will hold. Soil under the mulch will smell alive, and your water bill won't punch you. Shade the sun, water the root zone. Refill pots, not soil. Grow deep, harvest big.